Hey guys, breaking in at the middle here. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to leave a comment down below. Help me trend so that I can spread this message to everybody else. Thank you so much. What's going on, true believers? There's 3 reasons that the market crashed. Number 1, China did another crackdown on crypto mining. Joe Biden signed an infrastructure bill, and the Twitter CFO ruled out investments by Twitter in cryptocurrency, but none of that is true. Let me read a statement for those of you who are the faithful. This is your last chance. After this, there's no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed, believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Cryptocurrency, that's Wonderland. This is not financial advice, but I am always right.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, true believers, the market cap is at $2.74 trillion off of trading volume of $187, almost $188 billion, and the market is down 9%. But Tether is still at $74.5 billion, which would likely mean that a lot of people went to cash out, make some plays to get out of the market for a little while because, or they went off chain, but the boom is coming. And you can see it right here. This is the final shakeout before Bitcoin does what Bitcoin do. Now, I've at no point ever said you need to be in Bitcoin because we are meme coin traders and that's what we do. But this is the moment where you should be in Bitcoin. This is the moment where you should start to think about when you're going to make your play on Ethereum. In the last couple of hours, I took a giant position in, where is it? In Chili's, because there's a lot going on in the NFT and the game markets, and this is one of those products that is set to explode. So I went ahead and took a big position here because it was down a lot, and it felt like this was the moment before it started to blow up. So, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe it'll be a good thing. We'll see, though. Moving on. All right, guys, so the top story, even though the market is crashing, that's not the top story. The top story today is blockchain gaming is here to stay, but is the industry facing talent scarcity? Some say that blockchain gaming will inspire the next wave of cryptocurrency adoption. Play-to-earn games are certainly ever present in headlines and conversations around the world. Are they close to the mainstream adoption? Not in the slightest. The industry is just beginning and there's a long way to go. The companies producing the games are well funded and make incredible amounts of money. However, they don't seem to have that many employees. Guys, this right here is absolutely silly because what you need is people who can develop games. The crypto portion that you can add in for purchasing is a separate layer, and that's going to be figured out very quickly and very simply. That's the exchange of stuff. So imagine going into a video game, seeing a product on a town square or in a town hall and being able to purchase it and use it with crypto, and then you, who manufactured it inside the game, you're getting some crypto for it, and the cryptocurrency holder, the product, is taking a little cut, like a tax off of it for in-game transactions, stuff like that. This is very simple. What they're doing is they're creating the appearance of something, which is good, by the way. If you're trying to suppress, this is bad news for this market, and this is somebody who's obviously and clearly trying to suppress whatever it is that's going on here. And the writer is, yeah, they're not listed. It's just a random credit here. So I wouldn't read too much into something like this because the industry is not facing talent scarcity. The industry is facing a merge scarcity because there are plenty of video game makers and there are plenty of video game designers that are out there to make video games. And the implementation of the cryptocurrency it's not that complicated. Moving on. All right, guys, just so you can see this nonsense is the biggest stories of the day. The infrastructure bill. This right here is why I said that there's 3 reasons that the crypto market crashed yesterday. Number one, over here, CNBC, in their brilliant wisdom, say that the tax provisions signed into law caused a problem that caused the dip. CoinDesk says that because Twitter's CFO rules out crypto investment, that's why it dipped. And CNN says it falls as China takes aim once again at extremely harmful crypto mining. I can't even begin to describe how nonsensical the mainstream media is. All of it has a little bit of a play in what's happening right now. But this is the correction that happens every single time. If you're looking, by the way, if you're not proficient at this and you're watching me right now and you're wondering why is this going on, then the answer is very simple. It's right here. There's 3 little things happening, but the biggest sentiment is this. This is the shakeout before the boom comes. This is when everything explodes. And if you go back to 2013, you go back to 2017, you go back to look at the charts, guess what? The chart, the cryptocurrency chart, not just one little piece. All of the charts now look 100% similar, and this means that the explosion of cryptocurrency is about to happen, and we're about to experience that next leg up in cryptocurrency. And here we are right now. I hope you got your bags packed, and I hope that you are ready. Moving on. All right, HokkFi is trading at 1.98 cents. That's down 26% to the previous day. Guys, these are one of those. This is one of those moments where, when you look at it, this is just the market making a big correction right here to the downside. It's just what happens. This is a great buy opportunity. The other day, I was sitting here right at this moment right here, thinking, you know what, maybe this is an opportunity to add a few $1,000s, and I did. And then guess what? Boom. And I didn't sell at the top because it's Hokk, so ended up coming back down here, but this play right here, that was a giant play, and guess what? There's another one coming. I don't have chart yet. I don't have anything kind of set up here to look at the charts, but we'll get to that in the next couple of days. But Hokk's looking good. It's just up to 2.06 cents right now. Plan B, for those of you who are interested and did not swap in time, Plan B is coming. It's just going to take a few days, weeks, months before they implement. It's going to take just a little bit of time before they are ready. It won't come before some weeks, months, or even later. Please wait. But it is coming at some point in the future. Also, if you're not, you should start paying attention to what's going on in Telegram and make sure that you are informed about your product if you missed out. Otherwise, then it's sitting in your wallet and it's going to sit there for a little while. But guess what? All is not lost. There is another plan. Moving on. All right, Sanshu, you guys are trading at 52.19. That's down 9% to the previous day. The volume has tracked downward again. Here we are doing this again. But guys, if you've been following me for any length of time, then you know how I feel about Sanshu, and you know what I think, and that I think that this right here is where it's going to end up. Now, we followed the chart for a long period of time over here before everything started to cascade down and we started to make this break here. But it was right about here, I think. And I kept saying it was going to go, it was going to go, it was going to go. And it ended up breaking support. I'm sorry. Here we go. There was a channel right here. It's on the downside. We've broken the support line, but it was going way up. And I think that it's going to go way up again because this right here tells me when in doubt, zoom out. So it looks like it's still going to end up at this point. Because you're looking at it from like a distance here, you got to kind of bring it out here, but it looks like this is primed for at least a 4x in the very near future. The crypto market is the crypto market is the crypto market. So it may take a few days, but it's coming. If you want an easy 4x, then you can't go wrong with Sanshu. Moving on. All right, Floki Vikings trading at 19,197. That's down 13.6% to the previous day. Under normal terms, somebody might be like, oh no, what's going on? If you're a Floki Viking and you're seeing the market dip for a giant amount and you're only dipping a small amount, then you understand what's going on. This is it's headed upwards. This is an upward trajectory. If you look at it right here, now there's a little support to the. It's broken some support to the downside. This is right here, that support line, and it just hit that support line. Is it going to cascade down below that? Well, the market's going to dictate that, and I think just to be honest with you, I think it's going to go just a little bit further down because Bitcoin is going to suck the oxygen out of everything in short order as Bitcoin makes what is going to be an epic run coming up very shortly. And when it does, everybody's going to start pulling out because everybody's an expert. And you're going to see probably something along this 1600 line as a price moment. Yeah, right around 16.5. And then that cascade is going to go down just a little bit. But guess what? Just like a couple days ago when you were at 28 and before that at 3,400 and up here at 3,500, those big numbers are coming back. So if you are settled in at this number, then and you're accumulating here at the bottom, then you are going to have a giant run, and it's going to come very soon. Now, there's an AMA at noon Central Time, I believe, today. Let me go check the time for you. Yeah, 4.5 hours at 12 o'clock Central Time. There's an AMA. It's a marketing announcement, and you know what that means. That means Floki go up. And if you don't understand why, you're not in Floki and you just don't get it, but you really should. Moving on. All right, Saitama Wolfpack. Saitama Wolfpack, you had an enormous run-up leading to Saitamask, and guess what? Saitamask wasn't exactly ready. It's going to take another couple weeks before it's ready. They're awaiting the finalization of a CertiK audit, which, let's be honest, guys, that's the kind of shit that should have happened before you had this launch. So let's point some fingers and let's understand that we can all say in Russ we trust as much as we want, but the fact remains this is not something that should have happened. But at the same time, this is crypto. Things like this are always going to happen. You're always going to have, they're trying to do a certain thing. It's my understanding from what I gathered from the information, and I'm going to take a second to explain it to you, that Saitamask was going to launch over the weekend for Saturday. That's what the big launch was. However, instead of this big launch, what we ended up getting was an announcement that it's not exactly ready, but they were displaying it because there was supposed to be an audit. Well, there's supposed to be an audit done before you do a launch. So obviously things are not working as perfectly as somebody would have liked. So the case then became Steve from their website. He was supposed to be here, and he was supposed to do the filming, and he is a YouTube celebrity, so he was going to have some good camera stuff. But guess what? He couldn't make it through customs. Now, the fact that he couldn't make it through customs left it down to Jake Gamine to do his broadcast. And let's just say that it did not go as splendidly as it could have, not because Jake Gamine is not great, but because things happen. And when you're at an event, it's very hard to do a live feed, especially when you're doing it without the tools. Jake was there without the tools that he needed in order to get the job done, and it didn't come off as professional as it could have. And there probably could have been, it could have been dressed up a little bit better, and you probably could have paid for some cameras and stuff like that. But that's a lesson learned. The next one, I am sure, is going to go off without a hitch because they just experienced the hitch. And what did that lead to? It led to a cascade of a bunch of these, what I call paper-handed hoes, doing a bunch of selling off because that's what they are. They're weak people and they can't stand the heat. And when there's a little bit of pressure, they buckle and they fold. And that's why when you click on them and you see them, they still have $100,000 in their wallet during a time when they should already have $1 million in their wallet because they are weak. But that's okay, because if you watch right here and you see all of these transactions just in the last few minutes, that's called enormous bull pressure. And at some point, very shortly, these little weak-handed hoes, they're going to run out. They're going to be out of Saitama. They're going to hope that they have wrecked it. But guess what? Saitama just do what Saitama just do. and it just keeps going and going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny. So once it gets back within this support line right here, because it broke this, and look at this. This is the first time that it's ever even broken it or broached it like that. But once it hits a little bit back up, then you're going to see this enormous cascade back to the upside, because that's just what Saitama does. And it doesn't even need that big announcement. But Saitama is going to be here in probably less than 2 weeks, according to, I think his name was Max. He was one of the lead developers on this program. So, guys, get your bag pack and stop crying, because it doesn't matter what you weak-handed, it doesn't matter what you do. Saitama is going to the moon. Moving on. All right, Kishu, you guys are trading at 46.26. That's down 9% to the previous day, but the volume is still there. The market cap is still hovering in that range. You've broken this line of support that I've talked about for a long time. Just recently, for the second time in a couple of days. Remember, when you broke it here, within a day, it was right back up there. So within a day, I expect it to be right back up into that area again. Heading out this way, your support line is going to be right around 5,000, so expect yourself to get about a 10% increase very shortly. And then we're going to have to talk about this big line right here. This is going to explode, and when you start to put a stick to it and start to look at it, then it's going to end up at 1,500 maybe. You're going to be looking at an all-time high very soon. And that's just, it's crypto. This is a meme coin, so it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's coming very shortly. The question is very simple. Are you faithful or are you not faithful? If you're not faithful, then get out. If you are faithful, then hold on to your hat, because you're going to get a nice big increase very shortly. That's all I can say. Moving on. All right, StarLink troopers, you guys are trading 67.27, down 2% to the previous day. Even when the market was starting to go down yesterday, you guys were having another big up. This is the second one. You apply these sticks here and you look at it, then that means that in, where are we at here? Let's do the math. Let's not even play around. From October 30 to November 13 was your accumulation period. So 14 days was the accumulation period. Now here you are at, again, another top on November 14. You're at number 6. You're at 16. You got 12 more days. And in 12 more days, if this plays out the way that it looks right now, in 12 more days, you're going to look at another one of these big doublings again. And if you go look at CoinMarketCap, you guys are starting to rank pretty highly, along with UFO. There's a lot of interest in what you guys are doing. This is incredible. Probably need another one of those betas. So if anybody's planning the betas and you're doing it, 12 days from now would be the perfect time, because that would probably cause a parabolic moment where people would be able to see the gameplay, they'd be able to see what's going on, they'd be able to make a decision based on it, and they would stick their money in. That's just the way that it goes. If you have any questions, by the way, get into Telegram, because there is always something going on in the StarLink Telegram. So if you have any questions or concerns, get in there, ask your questions. Mo, it looks like, just made some made an announcement. We are excited to announce that PixelKnots NFT Avatar Series will be launching this coming Wednesday, November 17th. So you've got 24 hours, less than 24 hours, before PixelKnots are launched for Starl Token at pixelknots.starltoken.com. So make what you want of that, but it's a great buy opportunity. Moving on. All right, guys, I keep getting asked repeatedly to cover Kuma, so we're covering Kuma today. You guys are trading at 22.84. That's down 9% to the previous day. This really kind of looks like just a cascade of sell-off that was induced by the market. It doesn't look like there's anything painful going on right now. If you look across these lines right about here, you can see that you've got the support level right around 2,500. So anybody who's looking to make a quick 10% gain, then Kuma is probably a good play, because it will probably break itself back in line with its performance in very short order. Now, does it have what it takes to get back up here? Well, the question to these numbers that it's moving up to, or aspiring to move up to, that's actually a pretty simple equation here. For those of you that know what's going on at Kuma, they have taken the Shiba approach, and they are doing this very organically. Now, that's a good thing because they're trying to do it the Shiba way, but that means that this is all done on the goodwill of the community only. So there's no marketing, there's nothing to it, but there are Shiba holders. There's a lot of Shiba holders that are holding very large bags of this product. Now, that's a good thing, but also if you look right here, you're looking at the diluted market cap. So this has got a value of 228 billion and a total market cap of 113 billion. But when you look at the market cap right here, that's 27 million. And I meant to say million, 228 million, 113 million, and then 27 million. Now what that means is that the development team has a lot of tokens. That's what this is. So the original investors is what I mean. So the people that were adding liquidity, that were doing this at the beginning, they continue to hold massive amounts of tokens. So take that for what you will. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's something that you should point at and that you should know and that you should notice when you're investing in a token. That does make me a little bit apprehensive, but not to the point that I'm worried or concerned. If there's anything that concerns me, it's not on this chart. This looks like just a healthy correction that's happening, just like this right here, before you got these next legs up. Now, the fact that that leg right there didn't achieve this one right here, that's just because of an accumulation of holders that it's going to take a little while. But if you start to put some sticks to this, and you're going to see that other than this little support line break right here, that you've had this up here and you've had this down here, and that was a flag pattern. The flag pattern ended up breaking to the downside, and that means it's got to recover. And if you don't understand what I'm saying here, then get out of crypto, basically. But you had this right here that was going this way. You had this right here that was going this way, and I'm not exactly on them, but you get the point. The point is, it had created a flag pattern, and then that flag pattern got to right here, and then it accumulated to this point, and then it had to make a move. But the market's been the market. It's, you're looking for those movements and stuff like that. But now you're going to play this out, move it maybe just a little bit, and let's see where the support comes. Yeah, that's not even a support line. So you're right here. You've broken a little bit of support to the downside. So you got to get back up in here in the 3,700 range if you want to continue any momentum. If not, then it's going to be a struggle. But that's where you are right now. That's what you need to do in order to get back in there. So get out to your socials. Get out to wherever you need to and start getting some new investors in here. You're at 25,941, and the token was just launched on June 15th. So it's in a great place, but in order for it to move a little bit further, then you got to do something. That's on you guys. Moving on. All right, Boss Token, you guys are trading at 25.64, down 13% to the previous day. You can look at this right here, and you can just see there was a cascade of sell that was going on in the last bit of time. But let's look down here. There is an enormous amount of interest in Boss Track and what you guys are doing. There is a giant amount of sell, a giant amount of buy. There's a great opportunity in this token. And right now, you zoom in, and you're at that spot where this is a product of the market for the last couple days. It's been trending downward, but when you pull back and you start to look, then you see that there's an enormous amount of play ready. So I would say, guys, get ready, because there's going to be a lot of movement in the next couple days. Also, if you haven't noticed, Boss Token is now on the Coinbase watch list, and that's not nothing either. Total market cap is $12.8 million. This is a gem of an opportunity for you to get in early and make yourself an incredible amount of life-changing money. Moving on. Okay, guys, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but what you are seeing right now is what I keep telling you. And if you go back to my conspiracy-laden videos, as somebody once called it at the very beginning, this is a product, the dip that we're experiencing right now, it's a product of media manipulation. This is the media, and by proxy, large corporations are trying to influence you in what it is that you do and how you invest, because you are the people who fall for news. And I don't mean you guys specifically, I mean retail investors. When a retail investor falls for the news, then that is an opportunity to manipulate a price. And it's very simple. If I come out with some kind of crazy ass article that otherwise didn't need to be printed, but it's on somewhere like CNN or MSNBC that gets like hundreds of views every month because they're weak. But if it goes to one of these places and they get hundreds of thousands of views, then the people who are casual retail investors in Bitcoin or any other coin are now thinking like, oh no, I need to pull out right now because that's what they're telling me to do, because that's my signal. But the answer to that is the exact opposite. The purpose behind it is so that the wealthier people who manipulate the news and who do that stuff, they're the ones that get the opportunity to accumulate. Why? Because they have the money. And what they're doing is they're using their money to create opportunities for them to buy in at a better discounted rate. Now, if you can get that out to everybody and everybody understood that, then everybody would get rich, because here's what they're relying on. They're relying on, hey, you know what? The reason that this happened is because China is cracking down on cryptocurrency. And a bunch of people start to read that and they're like, oh no, I should tether my money because it's China again. And they're worried because they just saw it happen before. Then, if you go a step further, somebody else says, well, Joe Biden signed this very difficult $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill that cracks down on cryptocurrency, and the IRS gives the Treasury Department a whole lot more leverage on what it is that they do and what they track. Now, the fact that two other senators in a bipartisan bill signed on to weaken what was going on, and that they're trying to pass that bill right now, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That didn't get covered anywhere but in the crypto news. What got covered was, oh no, you should probably sell all your shares, wink, wink, of crypto, because guess what? Wink, wink, it's all going to crash down and the IRS going to come for you. Hey, pay your taxes. You know what I mean? Like, it's very simple. Don't worry about when people start to do stuff like that, because all they're doing is they're trying to manipulate you. And what they did is they manipulated people into dropping and remember, their target is Bitcoin and Ethereum. They dropped the Bitcoin price down just a little bit more. So Bitcoin goes down just a little bit more and they get to accumulate just a little bit more. Then you have the final ace in the hole. And that ace in the hole was the Twitter CFO says, well, we don't think we're going to invest in crypto right now. Well, guess what? You weren't invested in crypto anyway, so it didn't matter. That's not news. That's just everything staying the way that it is. But here's what happened. Some asshole got to some other asshole, and these assholes contacted another asshole, and they said, hey, guess what? We're not going to do what we're still not doing because we're not doing what we're not doing. And he said, duh, I could make an article out of that, George. Duh, duh. That's exactly what happened. And if you fell for that, shame on you. But here we are. Bitcoin's now at $60,000 when it was at $66,000 a couple days ago. So that giant 10% dip right there, that gives all of these people an extra opportunity to make a play, because 10% to you might be $1,000. It might even be $10,000. But to them, a 10% dip is $1 million, because they're going to throw $10 million at Bitcoin. They're going to throw $100 million at Bitcoin. They're going to make huge amounts of gains off of it because you folded. And that's why you're being manipulated. Guys, that's my time. If you don't believe me, you're wrong. If you do believe me, then you get it. Hold, don't sell. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world. I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go.